Asshole, 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 asshole.
Oh! This is the week where all the NFL owners are assholes, okay? They got all these firings going on across the NFL, which is great if you're a Bronco fan because for once in such a long time, we have consistency, continuity when it comes to head coaching because guess what? Sean Payton ain't going anywhere. We'll get into all those. And yes, the Broncos clinched the number 1 seed, which is fantastic. The Raiders, we're going to point out a major, not like you really needed somebody to do it, but we're going to point out a major flaw with the NFL, but mostly the Raiders, okay, when it comes to their head coaches. Plus, we got some crazy headlines. Somebody's eating a toilet seat, and I can't even fathom why somebody would do it. And it's going to be shocking. It's going to be shocking to tell you where it's at because I honestly, I had my guesses and I was wrong. We'll get into that plus some other crazy stories. But real quick, what you need to do is hit that subscribe button, the follow button, the whatever, tickle the buttons. Whatever you got to do, guys. I don't care. Don't care. I like to tickle buttons, Scotty. Just ask your mother. Okay, Connery. Son of a gun. I thought we were going to get into this show and not have you blindside me. But here we are. Anyway, if you can interact with the show, I know on Spotify you can interact, leave some comments. Team Pato did that the other day. Carl does that all the time. And, a guy named, I assume it's a guy, Dino Lover. A bunch of people are interacting on Spotify, so join the fun. And what's neat is if you guys start interacting with each other. And like, you're like, wow, I just climaxed. OMG, me too. Anyway, whatever you want to talk about, it's your choice. The ball's in your court. Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm dumb. Anyway, guys, I'm excited. We got a great show. I have had a great past couple days. My kids are going back to school tomorrow after winter break. Well, I love my kids to pieces. But let's be honest, it's easier to get things done around the house and do my job when they're occupied at school. But I got to share this great information that's happening in the DeHuff household. My daughter, who's turns 11 tomorrow, happy birthday, Aria, she signed up for baseball, Little League Baseball. I'm very excited for her. Now, there is people pressuring her to go into softball, but she's like, I'd rather play baseball. I'm fine either way as long as she's having fun. But this is what I love. Yesterday, I went out with Coach Carl, his kids, and some other former players, Coach Brandon's son and everything. We went out to the fields, and we were kind of just goofing around, playing baseball, playing catch, and whatever, right? It was a lot of fun. And my daughter was out there. Coach Carl was working with her. It was the first time she really was taking it seriously on how to swing a bat, how to throw a ball, how to catch. And I tell you, freaking what, she is going to outwork everybody. She is so freaking amazing. Such a quick learner. Yes, she's my daughter, okay? But setting that aside, I'm not playing favorites. She's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the baseball diamond, and I can't wait to see that. There was also a college softball pitcher out there, our neighbor, and she's phenomenal. So the boys wanted to hit against her, see if they could. And obviously, I want to say they're right around 43 feet from mound to plate when they pitch. But she pitches in the 60s. And the boys, they were so intimidated. And we had a guy back there in catcher's gear catching it. He had a blast because the ball moves so differently. And it's obviously a softball, which is like 2-3 times the size of a baseball, whatever it is. I'm not a mathematician, okay? Don't know the diameter of all the stuff, okay? But anyway, he had a blast doing that. And I was just telling the kids, I was like, if you foul it, be proud of that. Because, now keep in mind, she was kind of exhausted by the time she got over there. But she was still throwing some heat. And by the time I got up there because I was like, I have to try this. I can't walk away from this opportunity. So I go over there. I'm like, yeah, elbow out. I'm making sure. First pitch, she gives me a fastball. I foul the tip shit out of it. Okay, it went far behind the backstop. Right after that, she just played with me essentially. I have never seen a ball rise before. Usually, when you're playing baseball, it goes down or to the sides. She threw. I don't know if it's called a riser. That's what I'm going to call it. She threw a riser and I struck out. I don't give a shit. I at least made connection. I'm proud of that. She threw a riser and it went way up. As soon as I started to swing, I was thinking to myself, pull back. Yeah, you're in too far. Right? I was like, fuck. And I swung at it and I was like 2 feet away from the ball. It was freaking maddening. Then, of course, Coach Carl, being the uber competitor, he's like, I got to prove that I'm better than DeHuff. Not much effort to prove that you're better at baseball than me, Coach Carl. Okay, gosh. He goes up there. She throws him a heater right down the middle. Whoosh. He drills it out of the park. 200 feet. I mean, come on. It's not that far. It was a lot of fun. But I'm ultimately circling back. I'm so excited for my daughter because she's taking it seriously. Today, we woke up and she's like, I'm ready to go to the fields to go practice. I'm like, okay, let's go. So I worked with her on catching, throwing, running bases. And my biggest pet peeve, you run through the first base, okay? And going through the scenarios like that, it was great. Then by the end, I'm throwing her live pitches and she's hitting them. Good for you. She's going to be a problem. She's going to be a problem, fellas. Watch out. My daughter's coming. And she's going to make some noise when she gets into the league, which is right around the corner. So I'm excited for her. Anyway, guys, I'm excited to get into this show. There's a lot to get into. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by Roof Goat USA. It's now's the time to go get a free inspection from Roof Goat USA. Go to roofgoatusa.com right now, whether you're in Colorado or Michigan. Sign up for that free evaluation. They'll come out. They'll check your roof, see if there's anything that needs to be repaired or not. Sometimes that happens. They go, you know what? You're good. You're good for another, say, 5 years or whatever. I don't know. I'm putting words in their mouth, but you know what I'm saying. So they'll tell you if there's anything, and they'll work with you on how, if there is some damage, on how to fix it and what the next steps are going to be. So you got to check them out. A free evaluation. You can't go wrong with that. Again, roofgoatusa.com. I'll tell you more about Roof Goat USA in just a little bit. But right now, what we need to do is jump into headlines.
Let's go! Let's go! And now, here are the headlines.
I want you to guess where this is at, because I was in the wrong freaking realm, okay? A mayor of this certain location that will currently remain nameless had to issue a very bizarre public warning after apparently bite marks were discovered on a toilet seat. Yeah, not just bite marks. Like, they took chunks out of the toilet seat based off the picture that I found. I don't know how that's even possible, but it looked like a solid toilet seat, right? Guess where that's at? No, it's not Florida. I know. Who would have thought? I assume that if there's anything that could be related to meth and just weirdness, it's got to be Florida. But no, not in this case. This happened in Derwent Valley, Tasmania. That's in Australia, in case you're dumb. Oh, that's good to know, Scott. I thought that was honestly in Arkansas. But it's not? Okay, I'll be dang. No, it's not Tasmania, Arkansas. I just fucking with you. Anyway, this is what the mayor said. It appeared as though someone had taken a few bites out of a toilet seat. see few bites. Not just bite marks where they're like, I chewed on it like it's a chew toy. No. Then she followed up with saying, I'll say it plainly. Please don't eat toilet seats. This is the world we live in, guys. If you want to scare kids straight and get them off of drugs, show them this. Apparently, when you do drugs, you want to eat toilet seats. And guess what you do on toilet seats, kids? You poop, you shit, and sometimes that gets on there depending on who's there before you, okay? Puke your guts out in there when your wife leaves you. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Yeah, puking your guts out because you had way too much tequila. Been there before. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do with kids. When I was lucky enough to go visit Australia, their anti-smoking campaigns, and I think it might have been drugs too, they're very graphic. My brother, we were watching some rugby match or something like that, and he's like, oh, you got to watch these. And it was like some sort of PSA about, don't smoke or whatever. And it's people like, hawking up like blood and stuff like that. It's like very graphic. I don't know if it really works, but man, I don't know. If I was a kid and somebody said, guess what? When you do crack or meth, it makes you want to chew on toilet seats. The ones where weird people pee all over them. Well, that's gross. I don't want to eat pee. Well, yeah, I know. But that's what some people do. That's what happens when you do crack or meth. Huh? Do you like to eat toilet seats? Do you, kid? No, I don't. Don't do drugs. That's what the DARE campaign should have been. I could have just got in there with a short film. I could have made a short film about staying off drugs, and it would have just been summarized in, some dramatic music, maybe some black and white imagery, and then some guy cracked out of his mind chewing on a toilet seat. And it says at the end, black and white, don't do drugs. Right? Hey, you're welcome. I just saved lives. You're welcome. You have a gift, Scotty. Hey, speaking of gifts, I gave your mother one last night. Connery. What? I was just talking about my dong. Okay, Connery. Enough. That's gross. That's so gross. What Connery said and this whole thing with the toilet seats. Again, we were talking about that the other day. What do you do if you walk into the restroom being like, oh man, I really need to go? And it's like a public restroom. There's multiple stalls, and you go in there and you hear somebody going, right? And you peek in because they didn't close the stall door. They got no shame. And you go in there and there's like a homeless guy going, then he notices you and he's like, huh? You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyway, Daddy, is that you? Social media data says that the name Karen is no longer the best name to describe a woman. A woman old. It says a woman. It should be a white woman. An older one. And those individuals are the people that usually insert themselves into situations that they're not involved in. And they bitch and complain. Or they ask to speak to a manager. That type of thing, right? We've all had our encounters with a Karen. I've been a Karen once or twice. You're in a bad mood for some reason. And you're like, fuck it. I don't care. Where's your manager? This is unacceptable. Back in my day when I worked in a restaurant, you didn't do that, okay? Where's your manager? Right? But they're saying, based on data, Gen Z, and mostly this is Gen Z. Gen Z is saying, no. We're changing up the name. We're going to, guess what it is? There's two big names. I'll tell you the second one, but the dominant one they're going to go with, allegedly, according to data. The second place one is Ashley. I'm Ashley. Where's your manager? I don't know if that works. I'm Karen. I'm Karen. Where's your manager? See, that one works. The name that they're going with is Jessica. They say Jessica is more of a proper description for people, white women with shitty hair that go and complain. Right? Isn't that bizarre? I don't know if I like that. I like Karen.
It's Karen. Karen White.
Karen White. Jessica White. No. No, listen, I know Gen Z has the power to change it and modify it, and if they really tried hard, they could probably influence it. But Karen, no, listen, I feel bad for anybody named Karen. But all the Jessicas I've ever ran into are super nice, super sweet. Even Ashley. I don't think I've ever met a mean Ashley. But apparently, Gen Z has some beef with Jessica and Ashley. I don't know if I'm trying to think of, do I know any Karens? All the Karens are usually older. Maybe that's why they're doing it. I guess Gen Z, younger version of Karen, popular name, is Jessica and Ashley. But I don't know. It's bizarre. It will be forever Karen to me. I feel like that it's gone on so long, it's too late to change it. The train is moving along. You cannot stop the Karen train. Okay? It will go down in the history books. When my kids' open up a history book because the world got reset and there's no computers. It's gonna be all scribbled onto a weird piece of paper that somebody made in the backyard. Anyway, and they write it out, and it's gonna say Karen, bitch ass white woman who is old, had a weird bob haircut, who always is asking for a manager and wants to complain, and always just tries to butt in on everybody else's problems, and always gets offended for other people. That type of thing. Karen. It's not going to say Jessica or Ashley. That's preposterous. That's absurd. Shame on you for thinking that, Gen Z. We'll see if I don't think it's going to get any traction. But I could be wrong. This is bizarre. A man ate 1,000 sardines in a month. He's like some scientist nerd, right? He lost 6 pounds and smelled like a fish market. Well, that's shocking. I bet he had... I think he said they were like low sodium, fish. Whatever the fuck, man. That can't be good for you. Like if I got a follow-up update on this story, and they're like, yeah, and he died suddenly a month later. Oh, that's shocking. He ate 1,000 sardines in a month and lost 6 pounds because of it, and he smelled like a fish market. Come on. That guy has to be single, don't you think? Because if you have a significant other, nobody's going to want to be around you. You fucking smell like a fish market? Jesus. Unless your significant other doesn't have a sense of smell, then it's like, yeah, bonus. Yeah, guys, I can do this. My wife, she can't smell shit. Literally, she can't smell shit. I poop with the door open all the time. Never use air freshener. It's fantastic. I'll eat all the sardines in a month, and I'll smell like a fish market. It'll be great. Oh, great. Thanks, Todd. Way to step up. Like it a lot. I always think it's funny when these scientists who steal money from, donors, research groups and whatever, they're like, yeah, fund me a bunch of money and I'll eat a bunch of random shit in a month and I'll tell you how it affects my body. Okay, here, I'm a university. Here's a bunch of money. Guys, do you want me to eat what happens if I eat papaya every single day for a month? What's going to happen? I don't know. Let's find out. Pay me to do it. I'll do it. Jesus. Hey, Scott, I work for Domino's. I'll pay you, $500,000 if you eat a Domino's pizza every day for a month. Tell us how fat you get. Like, great, let's do it. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that I would want to eat every single day for a month if it's the exact same thing. Because at first I'm like, well, eat sushi. That would be good because there's a variety of sushi. But you can't do that. It's probably got to be more controlled, and it would be one particular kind. And then I was thinking, if you do pizza, it's probably going to be pepperoni and cheese, right? That's it. So I don't think there's anything I would, because I love burgers. I love cheeseburgers, but I don't want to ruin cheeseburgers by eating one every single day for 30 days. That'd be terrible. By 2 weeks, I'm like, oh fuck! Now I hate cheeseburgers. That's terrible. That's terrible. You tell me, is there anything you'd eat every single day? And don't say pussy. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, not to be crude, but you know there's some guy out there. Scotty, did you get my text? Because that's what I said. Connery, fuck you. God damn it. Again, good reminder not to have this on all your loudspeakers at work. Wear your headphones. Did he just say pussy? Oh my gosh. That's disgusting. Anyway, yeah, don't eat 1,000 sardines. That's bad for you. I don't know what the fucking results were. You're asking me for what happened? He lost 6 pounds, and nobody likes him now because he smells. He probably walks upstairs, gets a little sweaty, and it just smells terrible. God damn it! Is that like it's like a fish market met a dumpster fire? That's what it smells like. It can't be good. Can't be good. What's good is Roof Goat USA. They're the best. I was telling you about them earlier. If you have any concerns, even if you don't have concerns, you should have your roof checked out every so often just to make sure. And they're the ones to do it. They're the GOAT for a reason. Roof Goat USA. They're all over Colorado, all over Michigan. And they're a GOAT for a reason because they've been in business for over 24 years. They understand the headaches that come with fixing a roof, whether it's repair, replacement, insurance claims. Roof Goat USA's experienced professionals, they know how to deal with all that stuff. Go to roofgoatusa.com right now and sign up for a free evaluation. They'll come out and check out your roof and tell you if there's anything that needs to be done. And if there is, they'll tell you what the next steps are. And here's what's really cool. So whether it's a residential or a commercial roof, they can handle it. If you want a metal roof, they can do that too. I wish I could get a metal roof. I feel like that would be better. But anyway, stupid HOA. Anyway, they'll replace gutters and all that stuff. But what really sets them apart is their stand by their work mentality. So much so that Roof Goat USA guarantees their work. They got a 30-year coverage from install date. That's all materials and labor for 30 years from date of install. Pretty freaking cool. So for all your roofing needs, contact the GOAT. Go to roofgoatusa.com. Again, roofgoatusa.com. Experience the Roof Goat USA difference today. And what we should do right now is jump into sports.
When it comes to tight ends, going deep in long balls, this guy knows his stuff.
He has followers, and not just on Twitter.
It's sports with DeHuff.
Well, the biggest news here in Colorado, and kind of all over the NFL, because I think it really shocked a lot of people to their core. There's been so many haters of the Denver Broncos, especially this season, with so many narrow wins, that the fact that the Denver Broncos locked in the number 1 seed and will get a bye week for the wild card round, I think that just shocked so many people. I got to be honest. Every single game I was nervous about. And I know there's a lot of Bronco fans out there that are like, no, I believed in them. I knew they going to win every single game. That's great. Good for you. But I look at things as, logical, right? I'm not trying to be a dick. But yet, we are. Sound like you're a dick right now, Scotty. Oh, my God, that ain't on balls. Fuck you. I believed in the Broncos every single game. No, you didn't, you fucking liar. Shut up, that's between us. The thing is, they were so close, and they pulled through. They are a grinder team. They are full grinder, Scotty. That's that one website that you got kicked off of. No, shut up. Don't be starting rumors. Jesus. Uh, they're they're full of grit. This team is made of grit, top to bottom. Okay, the fact that they had so many come from behind. Hey, speaking of coming from behind, Connery, God damn it, I'm trying to be serious. Talking about the Broncos. They had so many games in the fourth quarter where they had to come back and fight to win. It really sets them up for a never say die mentality. And that's great. Never give up. Never surrender. That stuff. It's really, really good. Then they got their teeth kicked in by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I was talking to this Dr. Jeff today, and he and I were talking, and we both agreed that if there was ever a time that there was such a thing as a good loss, that's a great example. As long as you learn from it and move forward instead of going, well, they beat us. Oh, God damn. They're just going to be our Achilles heel. Well, there's a chance you could play them in the playoffs, and that's going to be scary, which I'll get to in a second. But the thing is that the Broncos are battle tested. They have been, they're iron sharpening iron in the sense of they've played these teams tough. And before you sit there and shit on their parade and go, well, they barely beat all these shit teams. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's a bunch of nerds who don't know how to play sports, but they watch it on TV and they've played a lot of Madden, right? It's those dick fucks that are saying, well, that, right? And that's frustrating. Everybody on a professional football team is trying to prove a point, trying to prove their worth, and trying to make a highlight reel, all that stuff. They're legitimate players, okay? Enough of that bullshit where you're like, well, they're just, they're beating shit teams. Barely. No, man. They're professional teams. I know there's a lot of people out there that just want to pee on them. I don't know why I said pee. I don't like that. Yeah, you could have used a better word than that. Defecate would have been better. You already said shit on their parade, which doesn't make any sense, Scotty. I know, Connor, you don't need to point out my flaws. You don't. I get that every day from my family, okay? Don't like it. Anyway, I'm excited for the Broncos, but I'm also nervous. Very nervous about the Denver Broncos because I don't know how they're going to handle who their opponents are. I posted right before the show. I totally forgot how this was set up. Originally, I thought it was going to be whoever won between the Steelers and Texans, but that's not how it's set up. It's they play the lowest seed. The winner. Okay, so the rest of they will play the lowest remaining seed. It was a great position for the Broncos. So depending on who wins and blah, 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 blah. I wrote this on Twitter for a Twitter poll. I said, which team is the biggest challenge for the Broncos? Bills, Steelers, Texans, Chargers, right? Who is it? Well, I'll say nobody believes that the Steelers are a problem because as of right now, 0 votes. 0 votes. But the Texans and Chargers are tied up at 29.3%, and the Buffalo Bills are leading the pack as of right now at 41.5%. Where do you guys stand on that? If I'm looking at this, the two teams that freak me out the most are Texans and Chargers. And it's their defenses that scare me. And I believe in the Broncos. Can they win 2 home games and make it to the Super Bowl? Hell yeah, they can. But what have we learned all season? You can't look past your opponent. So we'll see. We'll see. That just jumped up to Chargers are now at 31%. Texans 28.6. Bills at 40.5. So it's interesting. If you go, I have it up for a couple days on my Twitter account at DeHuff Podcast. If you want to vote and if you want to leave a comment, please do so. Again, at DeHuff Podcast. It's interesting to think about. I don't know how this is going to play out. And I know everybody's saying nobody gives a shit about the Steelers. Steelers could be a problem too. And boy, what the fuck? Aaron Rodgers. Congratulations to the geriatric fuck that is Aaron Rodgers. He did good. He did good. Now, all that shit doesn't matter because now you're in the playoffs and now see what happens. I said it the other day. This is Bo Nix's opportunity to make a name for himself. You had a shit game against the Chargers to wrap up the season. Is that on him? Is that on play calling? Is that on just bad execution on his part and his teammates? I don't know. And here, I'll say this real quick. For the poor performance of the Broncos offense in Week 18 against the Chargers, a lot of people are like, it's fine, don't worry. They're just, concealing their cards. They're not showing anything for what they're going to do in the playoffs. Yes and no. Yes and no. You still need to execute the shit that you need to do in order to win. They won, but that's because Justin Herbert wasn't throwing the rock for the Chargers. That's going to be a much closer game if he's back there. So I'm a little worried about the Broncos offense, but that being said, who really knows? Time will tell. So if you want to let me know who you think the best option is or the one that scares you the most and the ones that scare you the least, let me know. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com, or you can, like I said, interact on social media on Twitter at DeHuff Podcast and vote on that. Bo Nix has tied Russell Wilson for the most wins by a starting quarterback in his first 2 seasons in NFL history. That's pretty cool. That being said, Bo Nix knows what he needs to do.
Well, I should have done a better job today, having more urgency in the huddle, getting us, going. And, I felt like I failed us on that. And, overall, I thought, we didn't play with the tempo and the passion we normally play with. Now, there's a lot that goes into that. It's Week 18, it's the last game of the year. You're up 10-0, weird early, and it's just a strange football game. You prepare for one thing all week and then get something different. You don't know who's going to show up. So, I got to do next time we get in that spot, I got to have better urgency, be a little bit of a spark myself. And then, the rest of the guys will do the same.
It's a long season. That's that. I guess if you're going to sit there and try to make excuses for the lack of spark, basically is what he said there at the end. I guess they're tired. You could say that, but guess what? Chargers same way, same fucking way. Every team had that, but guess what? It's a big game. It was for the number 1 seed. Yes, the Broncos won. Yes, but man, come on. Sometimes you just need to amp yourself up. I don't care if you have to pop in Phil Collins. What is that one song? Do-do-do-do-do. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Right? I don't care if you have to do that every time you're on the sidelines. You start jamming into that to get you fucking flowing. Do whatever you got to do. Do they need to hire a hype man? Is that my calling? Do I need to give you a pep talk, buddy? Huh? Is that what needs to happen? Maybe we need to go to Taco Bell and get some of those cinnamon twists. Is that going to put you in a good mood, Bo? Whatever it fucking takes, get your head in the fucking game and go play your fucking heart out. The great thing is these games are going to be in front of the Bronco fans at Mile High, so I'm excited about that. That being said, it's not a guaranteed win. I will say I'm very excited. We have been talking about this for a bit. The Broncos needed to focus on turnovers. And that was one thing that was driving me nuts. I'm like, yes, it's awesome that they have all these sacks, but they're not getting any turnovers. Well, here's Nick Bonito. Jesus, I said his name funny. Nick Bonito after the game. Talking, is it Tracy Wolfson? Whatever. Here we go.
Yeah, he's been pretty pissed at us about the turnovers this year. He's made a huge emphasis on it. Even so, he just said he didn't care about sacks anymore. He just wants turnovers. So that was a big emphasis, and we got some today. So
you know who else enjoys sacks? Who? Your mother. Okay. Jesus. I'll say this though was interesting. I'm just saying. He added, because I had just talked about that they need to focus on turnovers. He also said prior to that the AFC runs through Denver. I believe I said that, and I was mocked on social media for saying that. Well, guess what? They won the number 1 seed. They won the division, so suck on a fat one. I'm just going to go on a limb here and say there's a good chance somebody at the Broncos is listening to this show.
Gosh, your own little internet shows are driving me crazy.
Okay, fine, Sean. God, I was trying to have fun, and you hurt my heart, Sean. Anyway, here's Sean Payton after the game.
Look, am I ever happy? No. All right. But we shouldn't be as coaches. When people ask, like, all right, what's the benefit of the 1 seed? Many will say it's the rest. I personally think it's the elimination of a game that you don't have to play. To be able to host the divisional round is significant. Yeah, we got to clean some things up, and we will. We'll be ready.
I like that. Yeah, he's not happy. He's not happy until they're holding up the trophy in, what are they playing in California, San Francisco, or wherever the fuck they're playing, right? He's not going to be relaxed and satisfied until that happens. And then like a day later, he's going to be back to the grind of the getting the next season going. But I like that. He's not comfortable. He's not happy. And to be honest, there's a lot to work on, and it's mostly on the offensive side. So, yes, to sit there and go blindly, the Broncos are just going to win it. I feel it in my bones. That's fine. That's just what blind love, blind faith, whatever you want to say, that's what that is. That's being a fan. But when you want to really break it down, you need to be honest with yourself, and that's what Bo Nix is saying, and that's what Sean Payton is saying. Is like, yeah, that's great. We won. But we got a lot of work to do. If we want to win this next game, we got to get our stuff straight. And the good thing is that's one less game that they have to worry about. So, yes, they get the rest, but it's just one less game for them to worry about. So I like that he said that. This is what's funny. After the game, I don't know who the reporter was, but in the hallways, in the bowels of Mile High Stadium, Tony Jefferson was pulling a little bitch fit after getting beat by the Broncos. This is what he said. I'll play you the audio, but it's so echoey and you can barely understand it. He says, "They suck, bro. I don't care. I have no respect for them. I don't like nobody on the Broncos. My homie J.L. Skinner, I fuck with him, though. Broncos suck, though." Come on, man. As a rebuttal, I believe everybody in Broncos country collectively said this.
Suck my fat one!
Yeah, that's dipshit Derek for you, fucker. Come on. Talk about a poor sport. You lost. Okay, that's it. That being said, that's the little shit that can fuel a massive fire. If for some reason somebody said something and he amps it up in the locker room, that can be this major spark that causes a major inferno for the Chargers if they come in here in the divisional round, if they do, and they could battle the Broncos and use that as fuel. A good team, a good coach can find any little bit of scrap and use it to cause a forest fire. Look at what the Jaguars did. Sean Payton says that they're a small market team because they are a small market team. They're in a small market. Why Payton said that is, I don't know why he actually said it. It didn't make sense. But sometimes I feel like he just has words that falls out of his mouth. I can relate, Sean. I do that on a regular basis. I do. Beep-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. See? It happens. Okay? But they use that as fuel, and it fucking pissed everybody off. And that helped them beat the Broncos at Mile High. So, whatever, man. Whatever. The Jaguars will cause some damage in the playoffs. They will. They're going to be a problem. Will they make it to the AFC Championship? I don't know, but I could see it. They have a tough team, and their coach is no nonsense. They could be a problem. But the Broncos can't look that far ahead. They need to look at whoever their first opponent's going to be when it comes to the divisional round. So there you go. Real quick, it's the time of year where coaches get fired. Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, is a hot name for a head coaching job. Obviously, he's been a head coach before, once with the Broncos, once with the Arizona Cardinals. And was it with the Cardinals? Or was he just – it doesn't matter. The thing is, he's done it before. The Titans requested to speak with him. I'm going to say this about Vance Joseph. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, he deserves it. Here's my thing. Wade Phillips was an elite defensive coordinator. Legendary. Wade didn't pan out as a head coach. He didn't. But, man, anybody would have fought to the death, somebody else's death, not their own, to have him as their defensive coordinator. He's that good. Was that good, right? Special defensive coordinator. That's what Vance Joseph is. He's in the same category as Wade Phillips. Maybe not quite there yet. Not there yet, but give him a couple seasons as a defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, and holy shit. Yeah, watch out. He's the next Wade Phillips. The point I'm getting at is just because you're an amazing defensive coordinator doesn't mean that you're going to be an amazing head coach, and it doesn't mean that you need to be a head coach. Now, that might be his deep, deep dream to be a head coach, and that's great. But if he's not feeling fully into it, and it's more of a, you're really good at it as a defensive coordinator, your next step has to be head coach. No, there's nothing wrong with staying a successful coordinator. There's a lot of guys that are just really good at being a coordinator. Vic Fangio, that didn't pan out here in Denver, but guess what? He's a fucking amazing defensive coordinator. There's nothing wrong with that. The point is selfishly, I don't want him to leave as the Broncos defensive coordinator to chase a dream of a head coach, because he could be legendary. Like, people talk about him forever if he stays with the Broncos as a defensive coordinator. And he's already doing special things. I think part of that is peer pressure. I haven't talked to him personally, but if he ever has a glimmer of doubt on being a head coach again, then maybe sit that out and stay where you're at and continue to do special things here in Denver. So I don't want to see him go. Speaking of people going, the Raiders are a shit show. Everybody knows this. And they fired their head coach, Pete Carroll, after one fucking season. Now, that being said, they were at the bottom of the AFC West, 3-14. I will say this. I went back and was looking at the numbers on we'll just say the last 3 head coaches for the Raiders. Pete Carroll, 3-14 after 1 season. Antonio Pierce, he was hired, he was interim head coach, and he took the team to 5-4 in that record. But then the following season, before getting fired, they were 4-13. Before that was Josh McDaniels. He was hired. They went 6-11, and then was fired mid-season the next season at 3-5. Here's my thing, like especially with Pete Carroll. Let it go. Let him continue on, unless there was something where Pete's just like, you know what, fuck, I'm too old for this shit. Don't want to do it anymore. Otherwise, this whole we need changes now. You can't turn a program around in one fucking season. That's lunacy. That's the Raiders, okay? That's moronic. I guess in a sense, good example. Sean Payton, his first year with the Denver Broncos, they went 8-9. That's not bad. They didn't make the playoffs his first year. But let's say the ownership group, they're like, no, not good enough. Now, Pete Carroll only won 3 games versus Sean's 8 games. But the thing is these owners are so impatient. The second year, Sean Payton went 10-7, made the playoffs. Year 3, as of right now, they're 14-3, made the playoffs. They got a division title out of it and the number 1 seed. That's what time gets you. That's what allowing your team, your coaching staff to buy into what you're selling. That's what they get. I just think that there's so many factors that go into a winning season and a losing season. And the Raiders Mark Davis is just too impatient, and it's really frustrating. The Cleveland Browns fired Kevin Stefanski after going 3-14 this season. Wait, was it? No, he went 3-14 last season, 5-12 this season. Had all the QB drama. Total after 6 seasons, 45-56. And by the way, he was 2-time coach of the year for the Browns. Took him to a playoff. I mean, that's 6 seasons. I just feel like that the Browns are just, jumping ship. But, like I said, with all their QB drama, that's the Browns. It sucks now because now you're going to have I don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns next year. Is it going to be Dylan Gabriel or is it going to be Shedeur Sanders? Now you got a new quarterback or you got a new head coach coming in there dealing with the QB shit. It's going to be weird. It's such a bizarre situation, but that's the Browns. That being said, what's a worse organization, Browns or the Raiders? I'm going to go with the Raiders. They are just a shit show. Also, to put a bow on it, the Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon, their head coach. Last 3 seasons, he was 4-13, 8-9, 3-14. Okay, that makes. I guess that makes sense. The problem is, how long do you wait for the team to turn around? Pete Carroll being fired, I think that's a little bit crazy. There has to be something behind the scenes that happened. Otherwise, it's like the other guys, I guess you can find justification with Stefanski, Gannon, whatever. And there's a few others. There's a bunch of openings, too. So going back to Vance Joseph, he's got opportunities. If he indeed does want to pursue a head coaching gig, there's plenty of opportunities. Don't know if you want to go to the Titans, though. But I wouldn't, if I was him, I would stay away from, I'd definitely stay away from the Giants. Don't go in New York. This is too bad of a market as far as there's too many eyes on there and too much high demand for success. And definitely don't fucking go to the Raiders because if you get like 6 wins, you're fucking fired. Definitely if you get 3. Jesus. God. You know what, Raiders? Keep doing your thing. I like it. It's it's good. It's good. It's good for the rest of the AFC West because as bad as the Chiefs were this year, they weren't as bad as the Raiders. Huh? Although the Raiders did beat them in Week 18. But you can't really hang your hat on that because Mahomes didn't play. So whatever. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining the show. Really do appreciate it. My daughter was just on a bike ride. I actually had to pause during that last segment, and you don't know because of the magic of the podcast world, but she jacked up her toe. God dang it! Just when things are going great, she's all, it's bleeding so bad. I'm like, really? Is it? Is it though? Anyway, so I got to deal with that. Do dad stuff. Anyway, you guys have an amazing day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out Roof Goat USA. Go to roofgoatusa.com right now and sign up for that free evaluation, whether you're in Colorado or Michigan. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.